Why is it that it's only a select few within each party that can accept that both major parties in this country have a chronic problem with racism? So we have the chief rabbi coming out, later endorsed by the Archbishop of Canterbury, the Muslim Council of Britain with their own caveat about the Conservatives, and the Hindu Council, who were quite virulent, actually, in how terrible Labour is as far as they're concerned, to do with anti-Semitism. And it's the same concern that we've seen before. It's nothing particularly new, but it's come up again because it's election time, and Labour were just about to launch their race and faith manifesto. Fair play. It's going to be an issue because the issue still hasn't been sorted. Corbyn does claim that he has attempted to make the process more rigorous and fast-track cases. The problem is that they're still happening. It's not going away. And the problem is, it's not just spurious accusations, it's evidence-supported accusations. It's the same story with the Conservative Party. And it was telling yesterday that the only organisation that actually mentioned the Conservative Party's problems was the Muslim Council of Britain. Everybody else ignored it, except the Sikh Council, which I will get to later because their response to yesterday just astounded me, quite frankly. But what I've seen on Twitter, and I posted a tweet to this effect yesterday, what I've seen on Twitter all day yesterday and most of this morning seems to be my party that I support does not have a problem with racism, and anyone who dares claim it does is either lying, is exaggerating, or is spinning stories. But my party that I do not support, the opposition to the party that I support, has a rampant, extreme problem with racism. And it needs to be stamped out immediately. And we should hammer them and hammer them and hammer them until it goes away. That's both Labour and Tory activists. I follow both sets of supporters on my Twitter feed. Both of them are just as bad as each other on this. And for me, it's disgraceful. The fact is, both major parties in this country, at least at the membership level, are a cesspit of racism. And it needs to be sorted out. Desperately needs to be sorted out. And it's getting worse, not better. And this is a problem. Again, not just Labour, not just the Conservatives. They're both, in my view, just as bad as each other with this. Especially considering Labour actually does hold itself up to be the anti-racism party. But there we go. Now on to the comment I was going to make about the Sikh representative yesterday, who came out and said, we distance ourselves from all talk of anti-Semitism and Islamophobia because we feel that these terms have become way too politicised, and so we don't want to talk about it. Hang on a minute. Generally, the Sikhs are pretty good at supporting other faith organisations, whereas this time they've decided, no, we're taking our bat and we're going home. In my view, they are, or as far as I can tell, they seem to be the only sort of major faith-based organisation, except maybe the Catholic Church. I didn't see anything from them, but they seem to be the only major faith-based organisation that is actively coming out going, nah, this is a bit too hot for us, we're going away. It's pretty disgraceful, really. I'm kind of shocked and stunned by it. And the thing is, any objective observer can see that this is a problem in both parties. The issue is, too many people are not objective. Too many people have their own corner they want to fight. And okay, fair enough, you can support Labour, you can support the Tories, whatever. You can like their policies, that's fine. The problem is, you cannot ignore the evidence which is there from both parties to show that they both have serious problems with this. And if you just keep pretending that this is all a smear, or this is all a distraction, or this is all a story concocted by the fake news media, and both sides have used that phrase, not just the Conservatives, both sides have been using that phrase lately, and it's really irritating me. Okay, a classic example I saw yesterday. I retweeted a post by Laura Kuenssberg, who I know is not very popular amongst various Labour activists. Fair enough. But she was pointing out the same thing that many other journalists were pointing out on Twitter yesterday, which was that Jeremy Corbyn turned up about an hour late to his Race and Faith manifesto launch on the morning of the anti-Semitism story. That is a fucking terrible look. However you want to spin it, that's absolutely atrocious. No two ways about it. It's just wrong. You should be early, if anything. Especially considering that's the news. You have to be early. And he turned up halfway through the speeches of his two colleagues that were there with him. It's just really bad form, quite frankly. Whether he meant to be late or not is irrelevant. It was pretty bad form. But because I posted that, I got slammed because, the BBC has an agenda, blah, blah, Laura Kuenssberg, blah, blah. Massive conspiracy theory, which keeps going around. And so I said, look, don't take my word for it. Go look at your Twitter timeline. This is not all a massive conspiracy theory. And apparently, that is weaponized racism. The response I got to that was, take your weaponized racism off my timeline. And then I got blocked. You what? It's pathetic. Unbelievably pathetic. But anyway, enough of me bitching about Twitter activists and silly nonsense. I'm going away. But I just thought it was something worth talking about because it's been irritating me an awful lot the past day and a bit.